our channel.
This is the continuation of our Day 2 vlog.
Come join us as we explore this tragic story of Masada. First, let's understand the word Masada. In Hebrew, it means a natural fortress or a strong foundation.
This is the artificial ramp. From here, they will climb it.
We can start with the Hatzlanians, who were the first to discover the advantages of this isolated cliff in the heart of the desert. What it is today. 6 AD, the Jews rebel against the Roman Empire. 4 years later, the temple is destroyed. Jerusalem falls.
As mentioned, Masada is an isolated cliff at the heart of the desert. To reach there, it's either you take the cable car or you go hiking through the Snake Path Trail, which will take you around 30 to 45 minutes. You may wonder, who would build a palace complex on top of the mountain in the middle of the desert? Well, it's no other than King Herod the Great. And this Masada is an example of the many Herodian architecture. Now we're on the top, but at the lowest section of the palace, 1,300 feet above Dead Sea. I'd like to tell you the story in 3 different parts. First is a story of inspiration. How can someone thought of starting such a massive construction on top of a barren mountainous land? Building a palace complex on a cliff?
Well, the Hanging Palace, with 3 grand terraces, is an outstanding example of opulent architectural design, elaborately engineered and constructed in extreme conditions. He is known for his colossal building projects. Some of his fine works are the rebuilding of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, the Western Wall, and the likes.
Also, he built some cities in ancient Samaria and Caesarea. No wonder he was called King Herod the Great. By the way, do you see that long and winding road down there? That's the Snake Path. Come on, let's climb up and explore the upper section of the palace.
Okay, so my friends, let's look at the model. And King Herod was living here.
Indeed, King Herod was such a great builder. My husband is just in awe and so inspired by his architectural feats and engineering marvel. Now on to our next story. Masada being a place of sanctuary during the Jewish revolt. Aside from King Herod and the Jewish rebel group, which is called the Zealots, it was also believed that David took refuge in this place. I just can't imagine how this place became a sanctuary or a refuge in the middle of the desert. I was just thinking about this. Yeah, how can the people survive here? As you walk around, you can see these large storage rooms and warehouses that were used to store food, weapons, and other supplies needed for their survival. For someone who's under attack, this place can be a perfect sanctuary because of its strategic advantage. As we can see, this fortress is located on top of a steep, rocky plateau surrounded by deserts and cliffs, making it so difficult for enemies to approach.
You can see the pillars inside. Here you can see them. And at the top of the wall.
Escape at night and go into the desert.
Down there is the Round Tower, believed to be a banquet and a library, a Herodian design with an incredible view of Dead Sea, En-Gedi, and the mountains of Moab. You see, King Herod really fortified this place to serve as his refuge for his potential enemies and in case of any revolt. And speaking of revolts, it did actually happen. The first Jewish-Roman war. When the Jews decided to rebel against the Roman Empire, it ended in the fatal destruction of Jerusalem and the burning of the Jewish temple. Many Jewish rebels escaped and came here to Masada to seek refuge. They actually took shelter on this summit for around 3 years. By the way, we're now entering the royal bathhouse or the sauna room.
Look at that. They covered it with like some orange. And look, they put a net. And look at that, so high.
Today the sauna, isn't it? The sauna of today. So the Romans invented the sauna, let's say. A little bit, Raphael, down here you see the green point? This was the place of the fire, only a different kind of wood.
And so after the destruction of Jerusalem, nearly 1,000 Jews survived from the Romans. So in this place, they found refuge. Masada became their sanctuary. The Zealots found this place as their stronghold, where they could regroup and continue their resistance against the Roman soldiers. This became their sanctuary because the location is so difficult and challenging for the Romans to launch a successful attack. And by this time, have you ever wondered how they managed to get their water supply in the middle of
We
nowhere?
are going to see the water model over there and to get an explanation of how they brought water and how they almost starve over here without water. And when it's raining Jerusalem, the flood, water coming over here, very coming. Look what happens. The water getting inside the canals and getting inside the holes. Water holes. It was full of water.
Oh, there. Isn't it impressive? The water system was a testament to King Herod's great engineering skills. Now on to the third part, the siege of Masada and the tragic end of the story. So again, after the Zealots survived the war in Jerusalem, they escaped and came up here in Masada. The Romans were chasing them and even tried to breach the walls, but the Zealots fought back fiercely. The siege lasted for several months as it is quite impossible to attack, so the Romans made a camp down at the foothill. Eventually, they were able to breach the walls by constructing a massive ramp. However, upon entering the fortress, they were shocked with what they saw. Around 960 Jewish rebels committed
mass suicide.
From what they saw, it is believed that they drew lots to determine who would kill the others before taking their own lives. Some sources mentioned that the last 10 survivors were chosen by votes to execute the rest, with the final person taking his own life. There were approximately 960 dead bodies, including of men, women, and children, were found on this spot. So there, the mystery of the dramatic story of revolts and the siege of Masada, the tragic end of mass suicide, attracted the attention of travelers to the isolated rock at the heart of the desert. And that's the end of our Masada story. Now time for group picture. What are you writing on? Writing on a Finally, we're gonna eat. Let's grab some lunch. What we have in here.
Can you take this, Daddy?
Underneath.